of the big differences of our software is that we don't have a content library that limits the teacher, user, or instructor. It is real time. Hello, how are you? To us, by the way. She would like to see some content for adult education learners from Afghanistan. So we went online, pulled off a relevant recent article on Afghanistan, and now what we can actually do is say you're an Afghani learner, you can go and you can change your language settings to English, okay, so that it'll actually speak back in English.
When it comes to Afghanistan,
it's a little fast because I would assume that an individual from Afghanistan has difficulty understanding language at the speed of a regular conversation. So we'll slow it down a little bit.
When it comes to Afghanistan.
Okay, so you can actually have text to audio, any tempo or volume you like. You can increase the fonts as well. If you look at the right, I would say that this content is slightly more difficult than would be required for an adult education learner, even from Afghanistan, because the actual difficulty level of the words is telling you that this article may be a little more complex. However, if they're very interested in the content, they can definitely use it as well.
And if they're interested in the content, can you find an article at a lower level?
Of course, you can go online. The lower level would be assessed again right by the summary and the difficulty level that were presented earlier. They can break it down by the key nouns, the key verbs, key adjectives, the past tense, present tense, and future tense as well. As well, with the click of a button, they can actually summarize the article instantly so that they know that if they'd like to really get the crux of what this article is telling them, they know which words to identify and to learn and to build into their personal dictionary immediately. So from here, you'd say troops surprise Afghanistan, government, military trainers. So we'll go to troops. Where's troops?
Canadian troops.
Canadian
Great medal.
So you'll click troops. Troops. And what in order to do, you have the definition of troops. So they can highlight it with the click of a button. It's pasted directly into the software. And now they can actually go online, and rather than just learning the rote memorization image for troops, they can actually identify an image that they would like to associate with troops, either whichever one that they would basically fit into their context, whether it be totally built up for them. And it doesn't have to be so politicized. It can be a much more friendly article, much more neutral in regards to education. Right?
Troops may not have been the best
yes.
word.
I was realizing that as we were going through.
Lead to lively discussion, though.
Let kids get right into this.
Absolutely.
Bring the war right in the classroom.
But as you can see, as you slowly start to build up your dictionary, you're developing not just a phonetic understanding and actual textbook or dictionary understanding, but a visual understanding of what these words and what this context really means to the individual. And so what I was explaining earlier, Bunny is George Bush. Sorry, Dan, I love this one. People really laugh with George Bush. So you can actually... we have 9 different languages built in, so that if you have English language learners from different countries, it's all automatic as well. You can actually practice the content so that you're listening and you're being attentive.
Commercials.
Very straightforward. Spelling. So as you're building the word, it's focusing on the phonetic construction of the word, which is very important, especially for new English language learners. And every time you're getting positive stimuli. People need to be engaged. People need to have the bells and whistles that say, you're doing good, keep going, this is exciting, you need to learn more. Right? And so we really, in the day and age of the 30-second attention span, this type of feedback loop is essential. So we also have pronunciation, so if they're really focusing on being able to pronounce words, vocabulary, verbal building, you can do that as well. So we have actually a program that you build in a microphone so that you're speaking back into it, and based on the sound waves that the individual user is producing and against the computer generated, you get approximate breakdown. I'm not going to put on the microphone right now.
So it will assess your pronunciation?
It'll assess to a decent level how you're doing in regards to pronouncing that word. And then from that you can actually improve your enunciation for that. And then you also have comprehension, so based on the dictionary that you pre-built in, that you've been building up, it actually has definitions for other words, so that you're constantly being able to identify the words that you would like to learn and being able to be tested on the definitions that not only you put in, but the definitions that have been built in.
Do you have any literature on this?
Absolutely.
Which outlines the cost and what you actually provide?
Absolutely, we definitely do. I would be more than happy. So There's more as well. There's actually a full exercise generation for the students, so automatic exercise generation so that they never get bored with the content they put in. If you're a teacher, you can actually have it done as well so that you have the answers. They're on and off. You can also put in title, teacher, exercise. You can print for the class. You can actually save it for your own personal history and library.
It can more than one person work on it at a time? You have a group of 3 here?
Oh, of course. If there's a group of 3 students, they can all collaborate with it and actually, answer the questions. And as they're answering,
Just one player at a time?
there's one player at a time, yes. But I mean, they can always collaborate in regards to submitting the correct answer. There's closed training as well, so I know that's a powerful exercise that teachers are always looking for. Subjective, adverbs, conjunctions, error corrections. We have comprehension, so the dreaded multiple choice test. It's automatically created as well with full answers there, so that you can actually remove the answers you're distributing for a test. And keep in mind, as I said before, every single time you click that button, it's a brand new test. Right? Brand new. We have almost every single grammar rule within the English language within the software as well built in, so that if you're teaching grammar, you don't have to leave the software. You can do it all within. Right? And that's a big issue where when teachers are going between different mediums, it gets distracting. Students lose interest. With this, it's all real time, all automatic, and based on what the students want. One of the most important parts is, say you're a teacher, and at the end of the semester, a teacher would like to know, or a parent would like to know from the teacher, what have you done with my child? Well, we have a back-end reporting system that actually from day one, from the very first time that Jimmy or Susan or Ahmed comes in and logs into the software, a teacher can provide the parent a real-time breakdown of every single thing the student has done within the software program.
So is the license per student? Or
the license is per school, as well as we have a home license as well. The home license on a per student basis is $220. For teachers, it's $180 for their own personal use, but it's usually built in for the actually unlimited. So if a teacher buys it for their own personal use at home, it's $180, and they get all of the upgrades for that independent version. If they like to upgrade, there are some small upgrade costs for the new releases as we go forward. For a school, it's on a per site license, it's $5,000 because we don't just sell to the school boards, we sell to private institutions as well, to the Havergales, to all the, on a per site license, if there's one school, that's the cost. If you're part of a board, no, the school board could get it for a reduced price because on a school board basis, there's multiple schools. We wouldn't be selling just to one school, we'd be selling hopefully to all the schools within that board. It would be a board-wide license. Every single student, every single teacher within the school would be covered for that.
And how much is the board license?
The board license would be negotiated, right? I mean, yeah.
Different board sizes.
Of course, yeah.
Is it possible for like my ESL and the English teachers to try this? Just look at it together? Is there a 30-minute preview site that they could?
There's a 30-day free trial version as well.
Okay.
That we'd be more than happy to provide you my actual business cards within it, so that if they have any information, any questions or follow-up that they'd like, more than happy to contact me as well.
Promoting more and more international students.
Of course.
As most boards are.
Of course.
But it's also useful for others.
Yeah.
We have some money for that,
absolutely.
so I think that would be good.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you for taking the time. We do appreciate it, and I hope to be here for your support.